This is a story from last summer. My friends and I decided to go on a trip to a beach on the Pacific side. I can't share the exact location, but it was a breathtaking place with both the sea and mountains. It was my friend Jake's hometown, and we planned to stay at his family's house during the summer break from work. During the day, everything was perfect. The beach was beautiful, and we had a great time swimming and relaxing. That night we planned to have a barbecue and light some fireworks on the beach. After dinner we took a break, waiting for nightfall. As someone who loves supernatural stories, I was secretly hoping for a spooky moment, like an old local warning us, "Don't go near that beach at night." But nothing like that happened. Jake's family cheerfully sent us off to enjoy the night. During the day, everything was perfect. The beach was beautiful, and we had a great time swimming and relaxing. That night we planned to have a barbecue and light some fireworks on the beach. After dinner we took a break, waiting for nightfall. As someone who loves supernatural stories, I was secretly hoping for a spooky moment, like an old local warning us, "Don't go near that beach at night." But nothing like that happened. Jake's family cheerfully sent us off to enjoy the night. The barbecue was great, and once the sky turned pitch black, we saw a blanket of stars above us. It felt magical. As we started lighting fireworks, I realized I needed to use the bathroom. There weren't any facilities nearby, so I decided to head to a rocky area a little further down the beach. When I got to the rocky area, I noticed it formed a small, secluded cove. I stood in front of a large rock, staring out at the sea as I relieved myself. That's when I heard it, a splashing sound, like something heavy emerging from the water. My first thought was that it might be a fisherman or a diver. Curious, I squinted into the darkness, trying to make out the source of the sound, and then I saw it. Under the faint glow of a distant streetlight, a figure emerged from the water. Slowly, it began to walk toward the shore, dragging something behind it. The scraping sound of whatever it was dragging against the rocks sent chills down my spine. I froze, my eyes glued to the silhouette. The figure was completely covered in what looked like a pitch-black cloak or cloth, hiding its entire body. It wasn't a fisherman. My mind told me that much. As I stood there, unable to move, the figure's head turned toward me. For a split second I thought we locked eyes. And in that moment, every hair on my body stood on end. Cold sweat poured down my back as an overwhelming sense of dread gripped me. My instinct screamed, "Run!" But my body refused to listen. My thoughts spiraled. "This isn't human. This is bad. Get out of here." The figure remained still, but I could feel its gaze. A dark, empty void that seemed to pull me in. I couldn't look away. Just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, Jake called out to me from the beach. His voice snapped me out of my trance. I turned to see him approaching, and when I looked back toward the figure, it was gone. Shaking, I told Jake what I had seen, but he just laughed and teased me for being scared. When we rejoined the group, I shared the story with everyone, excited but uneasy. It was the first time I'd ever seen something supernatural, and I couldn't stop talking about it. By the end of the night, my friends were fed up with hearing the same story. After the trip, I decided to stop mentioning the incident. But a few days later, something happened that changed everything. One night I woke up suddenly. My room was silent, but I felt off. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I noticed a shadowy figure standing in the middle of my room. My blood ran cold. Even in the dim light, I recognized its silhouette. It was the same thing I'd seen at the beach. Panic set in. I pulled my blanket over my head, trembling. Then I heard it, a faint, chilling sound like teeth grinding together. It came from beyond the blanket. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying for it to go away. After what felt like an eternity, the sound stopped. When I finally peeked out, the figure was gone, but the terror lingered. I knew, without a doubt, that the spirit had followed me home. From that night on, it was always there. I'd sense it standing behind me as I unlocked my door or catch a glimpse of it by the roadside while driving. It never did anything, but its constant presence slowly chipped away at my sanity. Desperate, I tried everything. Visiting shrines, getting blessings from priests, and even consulting so-called spiritual healers. Most of them dismissed me or told me there was nothing they could do. My parents didn't believe me either, chalking it up to stress. Even my grandparents showed no interest. I felt utterly alone. Gap 3S. After a long day of fun at the beach, the group decided to gather around for an evening bonfire. The sky was painted with hues of orange and pink as the sun set, casting a warm glow over the sand. We collected driftwood and built a small, cozy fire. The crackling flames added to the atmosphere, making the night feel magical. Everyone took turns sharing stories. Some were funny anecdotes from childhood, while others were spooky tales meant to send shivers down our spines. Laughter and gasps filled the air, blending with the sound of the waves gently hitting the shore. As the night went on, we roasted marshmallows and made s'mores. The sweet, gooey treats were a perfect end to a perfect day. For a moment, all our worries seemed to vanish. The warmth of the fire and the camaraderie of friends made us feel invincible. Under the starry sky, we talked about our dreams, our fears, and everything in between. It was one of those rare moments where time seemed to stand still, and all that mattered was the present. Little did I know, this peaceful night would soon be overshadowed by the terror that awaited me. But for now, I let myself enjoy the moment, savoring the rare feeling of complete contentment. Surrounded by friends, under the vast expanse of the night sky, everything felt just right. Gap 3S. After the bonfire began to dwindle and the laughter faded, we all found ourselves sitting in a circle, quietly reflecting on the day's events. The mood had shifted from festive to contemplative. As the embers glowed softly, casting flickering shadows on our faces, we began to share our thoughts. It was Jill who broke the silence first. "Do you guys remember that rocky area we explored earlier? I had this strange feeling like we weren't alone. Did anyone else feel that?" Her voice was tinged with unease and her usual confidence seemed to waver. Tom nodded, his expression serious. "Yeah, I felt it too. It was like a cold breeze, but there was no wind. I thought it was just my imagination, but now I'm not so sure." The group exchanged glances, each of us silently acknowledging the odd sensations we had experienced. It was clear that everyone had felt something, even if we couldn't explain it. Sarah, who usually remained skeptical about anything supernatural, spoke up next. "You know, I've never believed in ghosts or spirits, but today, something was off. That place felt wrong." I hesitated before sharing my own experience. "I saw something near the rocks. It was just a shadow, but it moved in a way that didn't seem natural." My words hung in the air, and a shiver ran down my spine as I remembered the eerie encounter. The fire crackled softly, filling the silence. We were all lost in our thoughts, trying to make sense of the inexplicable. The day had started with excitement and adventure, but it had taken a turn that none of us had anticipated. As we sat there, the realization began to sink in. We had encountered something beyond our understanding, something that had left a mark on each of us. The beach, which had seemed like a perfect getaway, now felt like a place of mystery and unease. For a while we just sat there, absorbing the weight of the day's events. The night was still, and the only sound was the gentle lapping of the waves against the shore. It was a moment of quiet reflection, a time to process what we had experienced. Little did we know this was just the beginning. The true nature of what we had encountered would soon become clear, and it would change our lives forever. But for now, we sat together, united by the shared experience and the unspoken bond that had formed between us. As the last of the embers faded, we made our way back to the house, each of us lost in our own thoughts. The night was far from over, and the mysteries of the day would continue to haunt us. But for now, we had each other, and that was enough to face whatever lay ahead. As the days turned into weeks, the memories of our trip to the beach remained vivid in our minds. Each of us had taken something different from the experience, yet we were all changed by it in profound ways. Tom, who had always been the group's rock, found himself questioning the very nature of reality. His once unwavering confidence was now tempered with a sense of curiosity and caution. Sarah, the skeptic, began to open her mind to possibilities she had previously dismissed. Her experience at the rocky area had shaken her beliefs, leaving her more open to the unknown. Jill, who had felt the presence the strongest, became more introspective. She often found herself lost in thought, contemplating the mysteries of the world and her place within it. As for me, the shadow I had seen haunted my dreams, a constant reminder that there are forces beyond our understanding. Despite the fear and uncertainty, our bond as a group grew stronger. We found solace in each other, sharing our thoughts and fears openly. The beach trip, which had started as a simple getaway, had brought us closer together in ways we never expected. Reflecting on the journey, we realized that the encounter had given us a new perspective on life. It taught us to appreciate the unknown and to face our fears head-on. While the experience had left its mark on us, it also ignited a sense of wonder and curiosity about the world. As we moved forward, we carried the lessons we had learned with us. The beach, once a place of mystery and unease, became a symbol of our resilience and unity. We knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, stronger and more connected than ever before. This trip had changed us, but it had also brought us closer. And in that, we found hope and strength to face the future, no matter what it might hold. Just when I was about to give up, my younger brother Matt came to me with a suggestion. He said he had a friend named Chris who had real spiritual abilities and could help. Reluctantly, I agreed to meet him. At the family restaurant where we met, Chris arrived late. The moment he sat down, his expression turned serious. He stared directly at me, his eyes filled with unease. "Nice to meet you," he said. "I'm Chris. Can I ask you something?" "Of course," I replied. "Where did you pick up that thing? It's standing right next to you. Was it from a haunted place?" My heart sank. "No," I said, "it was just a regular beach." Chris frowned. "This is bad. I've dealt with a lot of cases, but this is on another level. Whatever it is, it's dangerous. And you're in worse shape than I thought. Your protective spirit is gone. It's either left, been consumed, or was never there to begin with. With that thing around, you might not have much time left." Hearing those words, I felt like the ground was slipping away beneath me. Chris apologized, saying there was nothing he could do. He promised to look into it, but I could tell he didn't want to stay near me for long. He left in a hurry, leaving me more hopeless than ever. Since then, I haven't heard from Chris. The spirit is still with me. Even now, as I write this, I can feel its presence. No matter where I go or what I do, it's always there. A silent shadow that won't let me go. What will happen to me? I don't know, but one thing is certain. The spirit is still by my side.